Good afternoon, Dragons. We're going to work on activity 3.4, simplifying algebraic expressions. I actually like this activity because it's practice of all the skills you have obtained this entire unit. So let's go through and see how we can rewrite these expressions as indicated by the directions. Rewrite each expression using the distributive property. Well, this distributive property is when you divide both terms of the numerator by the divisor. So that's going to become 32 over 4 plus 4x over 4. And that can be simplified further into 32 over 4 is 8. 4x over 4 is just x. But in general, we would swap those. Usually variables come first. So your final answer would be x plus 8. All right, they want us to continue to use this distributive property for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Please pause the video, give 2, 3, and 4 a try. When you resume, we'll work together on the answers. On this one, I'm going to find the greatest common factor between 15x and 10. 5 can be pulled out. So then the remaining factors would be 5 times blank would get you 15x. 3x. Bring down that subtraction sign, it's not addition here. 5 times what would get me 10? 2. That's all you had to do. You might be asking, how did I know that 5 goes into both? I know my multiplication tables well enough to know that when I look at 15 and I look at 10, 5 would be the greatest common factor. Now on number 3, we could handle this a couple different ways. The shortcut way that the book taught us was 3 times the quantity x plus 1 over 3. Separate that entire combination from this term here, the constant, and put 12 over 3. When they did this in the book, they canceled that out. So then you had x plus 1, and then 12 divided by 3 is 4. You have 2 constants that you can combine here. So you'll end up being, once you combine these, x plus 5. All right, good. Let's look at 4. I'm thinking that the greatest common factor between these two terms would have to be 1/4. I know the temptation for some mathematicians at a quick glance would be to say 1/2, but that won't work. We've got to pull out 1/4. Pull out 1/4, create your parentheses. Now you have to ask yourself, what must the remaining factors be? 1/4 times what would get me 2.5? Well, how many 1/4 fit into a hole? 4 of them. How many holes do you have? 2. So that's already 8, plus 1 more would be 2 1/4, plus another would be 2 1/2, so altogether 10. 1/4 times 10 is 2.5. 1/4 times what is your remaining factor to get 1/4 x? You just need an x here. That's it for that one. Next section, rewrite each algebraic expression in as few terms as possible. When you hear that language, in as few terms as possible, they're talking about combining like terms. So that's what we're going to look for. We're going to look for things that are alike. Okay, we've got some x's here, but some being taken away here. 3x minus 3x means I have no x's left. 5y and 2y can be combined, so it's just 7y. Pause the video, try 6, 7, and 8 on your own. When you get those completed, resume the video to see if your answers are correct. Continuing on, 4x squared has nobody else that's like them. 4y has nobody else that's like them. 3x is solo, and 2y squared is solo. This is in as few terms as possible, because none of these can be combined with each other. So that actually is your answer. Number 7, I can see that I have a 7x take away 6x's. So that would leave me 1x. I've got a 5 and a 2, so that would be 7. So it's either 1x plus 7, or you can eliminate the coefficient 1 because it's understood. x plus 7. Number 8. X squared can be combined with 4x squared. Okay, so that's 5x squared. 5y can be combined with take away 3y, or you could have thought of it as a negative 3y. In either event, you're left with 2y. Continuing on. 9 through 14, the directions state, rewrite each algebraic expression by applying the distributive property and then combining like terms. Okay, these are multi-steps. We've done these in warm-ups. We've done them in the notebook. So I have great faith that you can also do these. I'll do number 9 with you, then I want you to pause the video again and try some of these practice problems on your own. Problems just like this will be on the quiz. This one I want to go ahead and distribute. So I'm going to do 4 times x, I'm going to show you all the steps, plus 4 times 5y, minus 3x. Don't forget that that still exists. Sometimes we get zoned in on looking at just this, and we forget about him, and we can't. 4 times x, 4x, plus 4 times 5y, 20y. Subtract 3x, he didn't go anywhere. Now I can combine like terms. 4x can combine with the negative 3x, which means I am left with just x. X, and then 20y had nobody else to combine with, so it gets added to that. Number 9 is finito. So, moving on from that, we have 10 through 14. Pause the video. Give them a go. When you come back, we'll do these answers together. All right, let's go. Here, this whole section here, I need to do the distributive property, and here I also have to do the distributive property. Hopefully you see that the 2 is a factor, and then it's being multiplied by this entire value inside the parentheses. Once again, I'll show you all the steps. 2 times 2x plus 2 times 5y. Okay, that takes care of that. All plus 3 times x, that's visiting that, plus 3 times 3y. Now, with order of operations, I want to take care of all these parentheses. I'm going to take care of them all at once. 4x plus 10y plus 3x plus 9y. Okay, now we want to combine like terms. Our x's can go together, 7x. Our y's can go together, plus 19y. 7x plus 19y. Hopefully you got that solution. Number 11. Here we're going to distribute on the latter half of the expression. 3x doesn't go anywhere yet. Plus, now I'm going to distribute the 5 across the parentheses, like so. 3x plus 10x plus 35. I can combine the x's, which is going to result in 13x minus, no, plus 35. Correctamundo. Okay, this looks like one of those division-y sort of things that we did. So we're going to take every term of the numerator and divide it by the denominator. I'm going to split this up as 2x divided by 2 plus 6y divided by 2. So that takes care of that. The whole thing minus 3y. Now treat each one of these division problems independently. 4x divided by 2 means you have 2 x's. 6y's divided by 2 means you have 3 y's. This didn't go anywhere yet, so still bring it down as you work through your steps in your order of operations. Now when I look at this, I see that if I combine like terms, I'm going to have 3y taking away 3y, which indicates that I won't have any of them left. The only thing left is going to be 2x. This one is combining 2 skills. First, distributing across multiplication, and then secondly, the distribution that is required in a division setup. So here we're going to take care of this first half here. We're going to do 3 times x plus 3 times 2y. That is what's required for that front half. Now the second half is kind of different. Now you're going to distribute the division. So 3x will be divided by 3. 3x divided by 3. Notice that they were being subtracted, so continue to subtract. And then take this term here and also divide it by 3. 9y divided by 3. This is a multifaceted problem. It's got a lot of moving parts. 3 times x is 3x, plus 3 times 2y is 6y, plus, okay, we're really good at those. Let's look at this. 3x over 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So all you really have there is an x. Do not forget that subtraction sign. 9y divided by 3 would leave you with 3 y's. Now we're going to look for things to combine. The x's look like they can go together. 4x. Positive 6y, negative 3y, I'm going to say plus 3y. 4x plus 3y is your simplified expression. That one's pretty neat because it has both skills in one. Last but not least is number 14. I can see just glancing at it, we've got 2 procedures of distribution here, but don't forget that last term hanging on the end. All right, 2 times x plus, what's next? 2 times 3y plus 4 times x plus 4 times 5y, all subtract 3x. Now go ahead with the order of operations. Take care of all those parentheses. 2 times x, 2x, plus 2 times 3y, 6y, plus 4 times x, 4x, plus 4 times 5y, 20y, minus 3x. Let's examine like terms. I see 2x, 4x, minus 3x. I see 2 and 4 is 6. Take away 3. You said 3x. I agree with you. Now we have some y's. We've got a positive 6y and a positive 20y. If we put those together, 26y. Can you make sure? Yep, that's it. You've done a fantastic job on activity 3.4. It has put together all your skills with distributing over multiplication, distributing over division, and combining like terms. If you have any questions, please email me or leave comments in the comment box. Thank you.